few things that you need to keep in mind, with respect to HIPAA compliance when it comes to telehealth, right? So the first thing I would think is you definitely need to have some sort of policies and procedures implemented as part of implementing telehealth. So what exactly is the policies and procedures we are talking about? So the main thing is you need to have the notice of privacy practices that should be shared with your patients, right? So most of the places that if you're going in as a patient, then the provider's office, like in the provider's office, they will be giving you NPP, they call it notice of privacy practices, in terms of how a particular office will be handling the data, and under what circumstances you can request it, and what is your rights, patient's right, what is their right, like the provider's right, and what are the things that you could enforce as part of sharing your data with them. So that's number one, in my opinion. So you need to clean up your notice of privacy practices and make sure that you include all the telehealth services that you are introducing or like have implemented already, right? So that all needs to be covered as part of the notice of privacy practices. And also patient device security disclaimer is something that I wanted to bring up. So things happen. So if a patient connecting from a insecure system or device, then you need to make sure that you have a disclaimer in there that kind of clearly mention that you are not responsible for their system security and validating their system security before connecting to the telehealth platform, right? So that is something actually you wanted to make sure and notify them that you are responsible only for the platform that you are operating in and providing the telehealth services. And also there are other things, including the opt-in notifications. If, for example, not all of your patients will be interested in telehealth services, or not all of your patients will be interested in getting notification via email or via text and whatnot. So you need to make sure you get explicit opt-in consent from them, from your patients, and then they go through all your policies and procedure with regards to handling of data and things. Yeah, that is one. And then the next one, especially when it comes to telehealth, is recording. So if you see in a lot of telehealth practices, they would not by default record the session that is happening between a provider and the patient. So if you for any reason, if you want to have the recording, then like you need to explicitly request that from the provider, and then they record it and share that with you. So those are like some of the things that you need to keep in mind. Again, there are a lot of requirements when it comes to using a secure platform for sending out text and emails. Say, for example, if you are going to be sending a reminder to your patients about an upcoming telehealth session, then you want to make sure that whatever platforms you're operating in is all HIPAA compliant, and then you have reviewed and completed your due diligence of the vendors, so that like your platform is kind of an approved, not exactly approved. There is no approval or non-approval of HIPAA compliant technologies anywhere, but it depends on the vendors' security practices and what is that they have published, what kind of the security best practices they have implemented. So you want to make sure that you have completed your due diligence of the vendor before you selecting a technology or a platform for sending out all the SMS and whatnot. The same thing applies for the email as well. So email, although like you might be using pretty standard Gmail workspace or a Microsoft 365. So we've seen in a lot of practices, they use additional encryption technologies like Proofpoint and other type of encryption that kind of requires patients to provide additional level of authentication before accessing the email that is sent out by the provider. For example, patients might register for a two-factor authentication, and a unique code will be sent to their phone, and they use that code to access the email sent by the provider, or even access some of the technologies that we are talking about here, right? The telehealth and whatnot. So and then lastly, especially when it comes to telehealth, providers share a lot of images, videos also with the patient. So you want to make sure that you use secure technologies when it comes to sharing of images and other details with the patients, especially if you're sharing some large files and other things like X-rays and whatnot. So you want to make sure that you're using secure technologies and stuff.
For more information, click on the link below or visit databrackets.com.